n number of things which he had gone through, and today he is going to take us with most important, which is playing a major role for now with the leading banks, which is an investment banking. So, his overall past experience in Imarticus, he had worked as a trainer, as a product designer, and a content creator for us for the student who had enrolled into our retail and investment banking programs. So, again, I would like to warmly welcome our speaker, Mr. Shamil Sablok, and would like him to take this ahead. And one more thing, if you have any questions, any doubts, you can pin your questions into the drop box, which is a Q&A box, or in the chat box. Post to that, once the speaker is done with his presentation, he is going to answer all your queries. Thank you, and hand over to Mr. Shamil.
Yeah, thanks, Anita, for the kind words. Good morning, everyone. I'm sure the weekend has started, and you all are doing great. So, without wasting your time, my time, let's start with the presentation. We'll have a very simple presentation, followed by we'll have a Q&A round wherein we can have your queries can be addressed. I hope the slides are visible. Anita, can you confirm?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah, thanks, Anita. So once again, good morning, everyone. So we'll be starting off with the investment banking and how things are going to be, how things are changing, in fact, over a period of time with the emergence of artificial intelligence, how things are getting simplified, what are the areas where artificial intelligence is getting used. So we'll start with investment banking. See, we all know banks are various types of bank. There's retail bank, there's a corporate bank, there's a investment bank, there's a wholesale banking. So bank is a place where you can make deposits or whatever. Well, this is, if we talk from the retail banking, it has a different uh, it has a different definition. If we talk from the investment banking, it has a different definition. So it is basically the financial medium, which is very important part of any country's GDP. So whether we talk about India, whether we talk about US, China, wherever, banks play a very important role because they are the intermediary if we are dealing with the foreign countries, or they are the kind of a trust which the individual has over a period of time. So what are investment banks? So investment banks are basically global financial institutions where they assist government in raising funds. Like we have an IPO, we have bonds, we have so many, we have stock markets, we have they do capital underwriting. The number of points which are there or the benefits which are there are tremendous. They are good about a dozen plus points which are beneficial for the entire government, for the people of the country, for different countries across the world. JP Morgan stands number one because they cater to 50% of entire world transactions. The exact percentage is 49. They are as good as 50% of entire world. Rest of the banks which are global leaders cater to the rest 50%. Although India's market is very nascent, I'll say, or not that big considering the American market or European market or Chinese market, but India is slowly catching up. And let me tell you, I had been teaching Imarticus students for investment banking from last 1+ year, and also retail banking, risk management, fraud management. And as Anita pointed out, I had made a lot of modules and course content also. And for that, I have my, like, to tell you, like, I have done my specialization from IIM Lucknow, the second specialization in artificial intelligence from University of Wharton. Otherwise, I have done engineering and MBA from Faculty of Management Studies, and MBA engineering from Maharashtra. So this is about me. I had been with the banking industry from last 19 years, and I had been into recruitment, training, various fields, right from collection, credit card, investment banking, and I know the kind of content which Imarticus has given to the students is the perfect content. So if you are planning to get yourself enrolled for Imarticus, the course is amazingly great. Well, it's a job ready kind of a course which is there. So once you enter, the placements are close to 100%. So it's just that the kind of material which we have made in last 1 year, considering the experience which I have and the other faculty members of Imarticus has, so this the content is seriously very good. They are up to date and they are making the students job ready. So these are the kind of, like, there are four major types of investment banks which are there across the world. See, in India, the investment bank's size or the total is very small. But in across the world, we have like Barclays, we have Credit Suisse, you have so many. You name a State Street, you have Deutsche Bank, you have uh, Lehman Brothers was one of them, but now it is no longer. We have so many other banks, Bank of America. So these are the four major types of investment banks which are there, right from regional boutique bank to elite bank to middle market banks and bulge market banks. So bulge bracket banks, sorry. So these are the four types. If we talk about the, these are the companies which are catering to the large sector of syndicates. It's basically a very big bank, which is a bulge market. So the securities are large. The leaders are again JP Morgan is again leader in this. Citibank, we have Barclays, we have Stephens, we have uh, Jenny, we have Owens. So there are various different banks. Then we have middle market bank, which is hovering around from 500 million to $1 billion. This is also a very big number. Across the world, there are close to 2 lakh people who are having this network of 1 billion, 50% being in America only, wherein 1 lakh plus people have that much of individual network. I'm not talking about companies, I'm talking about individual. So these are the people who have their the kind of personalized banking from these middle market banks, from these bulge banks, and all these banks are catering to them. So, and they are increasing every year. These people are increasing. In India also, they are close to 250 such people. Whereas in America, it is 1 lakh people. In Europe, it is close to 30, 40,000. In China, it is again close to 20, 30,000. And the rest of the world is like 50,000 in totality. So these are kind of Piper Jeffries, Robert Bart, Needham. Again, these are all American banks, if I have to say so, wherein they are specialized in catering to niche segment. Then we have a regional boutique bank, which is again, they are kind of a deal-based bank, wherein they don't go for a bigger, very bigger, but they go for a middle market or they go for a deal specific, like Green Hill, Lizard. So these are the kind of Rothschild is again one of the good banks, major banks in, if I have to say, Europe. Then we have Elite Boutique Bank, which is like useful in mergers and acquisitions. So in this, Catalyst is one of the very good bank, Evercon, Evercore. Then we have Molly's and companies. These are the company and banks which are specifically dealing in mergers and acquisitions. And if I have to tell you, like I was already telling you about the benefits, we have management buyouts, like we have seen in 2005, Reliance got demerged. So it was all investment bankers who supported such demergers. Now they are expanding. So many banks are merging. So many banks are expanding. So many companies. So banks are required everywhere in mergers, acquisition, in new. All the unicorns are turning out to be in the. They are planning to come into an IPO and then get into the listing. So IPOs are being held and supported by investment bank. We have cross-border transactions which are happening through Nostro and Vostro. We have valuations and fair. We have valuation of a company which is being taken considering the credit report of a credit reports and all. Then if we have to raise equity or whatever mergers, acquisitions, researches are there which are required to be taken into consideration while having all these mergers and acquisitions. Then we have corporate finance, we have corporate restructuring, which is happening across. Like Tata Group has made into a small units. Earlier, it was one big group. Now they are making into a like a pharma group or an online group or an e-commerce group, and then they are trying to bring in a different parity in each group. So similar way, Reliance is planning to have their own retail group. They have their own telecom group. They have their petroleum group, and they are making each heads of those group or each group companies or geo companies or whatever. Now they are planning to come up with geo financial service, which is going to be in the NBFs as an NBFC or into loans, corporate insurance, and all. So they are coming up. So these all things are. So as I was telling you, underwriting is one of the major reasons why investment bankers are hired. We have mergers and acquisitions. We have sales, trading, corporate broking. So this broking part, wherein a lot of share trading and a lot of equity investments and all are taken into consideration. Then we have asset management services, which we already know mutual fund companies are like they have their AMCs, they have their they have their commissions and they perform their duties and they support the normal investors. And then there's a lot of research which goes into. So all these things are done by investment bankers only. So these are the prominent bankers which are there. Like JP Morgan continues to be number one in India also. Then we have Axis, we have Yes Securities, Kotak, ICICI Securities is one of the major players, if I have to say so. It features in top three in India. So ICICI Securities is doing tremendously well. They are into equities, they are into private equities, mergers and all. SBI Capital is also doing fairly well. So these are the Morgan Stanleys. So plus these are the world's global banks, if I have to say, like right from Bank of America to Citigroup to Goldman Sachs to Merrill Lynch to UBS to Chase, whatever, Lizard, BlackRock. So all these are basic investment banks which are very big. BNP Paribas, Street, Credit Suisse. So if as I was telling you at the start of the PPT, that if you see the revenues per se or if you see the market per se, so JP Morgan by far is like 50% of the market. Then comes your other markets like Citibank, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Credit Suisse, Barclays, and there are so many other, like we have got Wells Fargo, so Deutsche. So there's other banks also, but if we talk about Indian market in the global perspective, it is relatively a very minuscule because the world players are humongous across the world, whether it is Australia or if we talk about Southeast Asia like Hong Kong and Singapore or whatever. So coming back to artificial intelligence, like I'm sure few of you might be knowing what are artificial intelligence, but just to tell everyone, so it's basically a simulation. Like what is simulation? It's basically a intelligence. Malab, machines are being trained in such a way that they think like humans. They act like humans. So whenever you go to a machine, like nowadays the biggest example, if I have to say, like Netflix, they have got across the world some 10 crore customers. But how they know that if I am Shamir Sablok, what am I watching? What is my taste? So that is what is artificial intelligence usage. Now they are sending me mails, personalized mails. So these things come into the action because of artificial. Same way now banks are using it. Why? Because now banks are keeping a closed architecture into an open architecture. So because they are keeping into an open architecture, so there are a lot of fintech companies which we all know that the banks are going to be. The biggest threat for any bank today are the fintech companies. And now there are so many fintech companies which are coming up in investment banking. There are fintech companies which have come up in the retail banking, in trade and forex. If I have to say personalized, there are so many companies which have come in loan segment or whatever credit card segment. So they are basically programming based, wherein an algorithm is written, machine intelligence is used. They basically handle the cognitive behavior. That means how we think. That is what it is. Like in the coding language, we are not going to be learning the coding part. So basically, there are three types of artificial intelligence. This slide is very important, guys. Kindly pay a little bit attention, which I have to say. So the number one type of intelligence or the artificial intelligence is the narrow or the weak. So what does it means? It means that, just a sec, guys. Like the simple form, like I'm sure all of you must have heard about Amazon device called Alexa or Google Siri if you are using an iPhone. So that is a simple form of a narrow or a weak artificial intelligence. So that applies to an artificial intelligence for a specific task. Then comes general or strong intelligence, which involves machine that possesses the ability to perform any intellectual. Right now, across the world, the work is on to make such kind of machines. And by 2030, the world will be producing one of such machines. And then the third type, which we always see in the Hollywood movies, like Transformers, wherein or Matrix and all, wherein the machines are going to fight with the humans, or they are going to be superpower. So that's going to be the fatal. Matlab, they are predicting by 2050 the artificial super intelligence, wherein the machine consciousness will be brought into the picture. So that is artificial super intelligence, wherein right now it's not possible, but matlab, the world has only achieved the narrow or the weak artificial intelligence. The second is general or strong, wherein the work is still on and they are predicting by 2030 this general or strong artificial intelligence will come into picture, wherein it's going to be working in such a manner that it's going to be just a click of a button and your work will be done. The third, in which the humans are going to be extinct, but the machines are going to be ruling, are going to be the artificial super intelligence. So they are predicting that once the general or strong intelligence comes, then the third stage will also come into the action. Now, this is again a very important slide which talks about the artificial intelligence. We all often get confused. What is machine learning? What is deep learning? What is artificial intelligence? So, as we have already learned that it's basically a mimicking of a human behavior is what is artificial intelligence. So machine learning is a subpart or subset of artificial intelligence. Like if we see this diagram, the bigger circle is the artificial intelligence. The sub circle or the subset of artificial intelligence is machine learning. And then comes the deep learning, which is the third subset or the subset of machine learning. So guys, this slide talks about what are going to be, that means the machine, जो भी हम data feed करेंगे, and then deep learning will use the data in the form of a neural network to solve the complex problem. I hope the understanding is clear and we can go further. Why? Because this is something which is very, very, very important for each one of you to understand that what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, what is deep learning. Like you will be surprised to know this industry, which is at $55 billion. Like if I have to say $1 billion is equivalent to 8,000 crore. So by 2025, that means in next 3 years, this industry from a $55 billion, which is right now into 2022, will jump to $100 billion. That means it's going to just double. So the speed with which the artificial intelligence, machine learning and all are happening after 2010, if I have to say so. Although artificial intelligence was brought in, well, these are some of the examples like Google Map, face detection, which we see it in the mobile apps, or text editor or autocorrect. All these are parts of artificial intelligence which are being used in the common research and recommendation. Like if we go to any Google and we type something, you'll have so many things, and then they remember that from this IP this is being typed, and then for next 3 days, like you go to any website to book a train ticket or a air ticket to say Bangalore. So in next 3 days, you will have a lot of options of hotels, stay at Bangalore. You will have a lot of train options, bus options, or whatever, flight options to go to Bangalore. So that is what is the recommendation or self create. That is what is simulation. So chatbots have been a major boost for any industry. Globally, chatbots are saving close to $11 billion worth of mankind time. If a mankind has to answer such chatbot questions, then companies had to invest so many mankind or human beings that it would have costed them $11 billion. That means $1 billion is 8,000 crore. You can imagine that with 88,000 crore worth of money is getting saved because of chatbots. Then we have got digital e-payments, and also that is, see, the reason why artificial intelligence is still considered as a job taker. The reason is because the machines are faster, but the humans have their biological evolution. So they are going to grow as per their biological evolution. So that is something which is there. Like AI was created by John McCarthy, who was a computer scientist in 1956. That means close to 65 years, if I have to say so. 65 years back, artificial intelligence was created. But the emphasis is coming in, like if we see 1956 it was born, if we talk about evolution, but in last 10 years or last 15 years, especially after 2008 when the financial crisis came into the picture, after that things started happening in a different manner. So this is something which is changing, like the chess computer was born, which was known as Deep Blue by IBM in the year 1997. Then Intelligent Apple Cine came into the picture in 2013. So, and then came the Google, the Alexa in 2016. So these are the ways by which in last 15 years, if I have to say so, the machine learning or deep learning has changed the way the world is going to be functioning. So it's going to be more skill based rather than degree based. So this is something which is there. Guys, are my slides visible? Anita, somebody is writing that slides are not visible. Anita, are you there? Okay, I have got the answer. It's visible. Okay, thanks. Thanks. So these are the few of the elements which are being used, right from speech interpretation to expert to face recognition. Like now, most of our mobiles, we have got a face detection. So that is something which is an artificial intelligence again, robotics, neural networks. So I don't want to go into a technicalities, but these are the some of the like technological landscape. These are some of the technological. So these, it's being used across. Like if I have to say a GPS, Google Maps, if they are dating apps, like Match is one of the dating app. So it's making our life easier. So whether it is banking or it's a daily activity or music streaming, we all have Spotify, we all have Netflix, we have Amazon Prime Video, we have LinkedIn for our job searches, we have Facebook. Like fintech is one of the major user of, I'll say, artificial intelligence, and because of fintech, a lot of banks, whether retail bank or investment banks, are have started using artificial intelligence. Now they are insurtech, fintech, regtech, whether it's a wealth act, so many things are coming up, and they all are using the nuances which are there. Now, if I talk about the banking or per se, these are the five major uh, these are the five major reasons why artificial intelligence is helping. Number one, fraud detection. Number two, in regulatory and compliance. Number three, lowering costs and increasing revenue, improving customer service, boost customer boost customer engagement. So these are the major five on which a lot of banks are spending a lot of money into ensuring that the artificial intelligence is being used and customer in every transaction gets a wow service. Whether it nowadays even SBI using such service. In India, we have got foreign banks like Citibank, Stancy, HSBCs. They are like world leaders. But now you are having an ICICI Wealth Management, you have IndusInd Bank, you have SDFCs. They all are giving best of the service, whether from the retail banking perspective or from the investment banking perspective. They have got a specialized umbrella banking wherein different departments are there for different kind of work, and but they are so synchronized and it lowers the TAT, which is turnaround time. So as we go further, we'll be learning. So using the location data or the IP machine tracking, artificial intelligence is helping fraud detection, that what kind of person is it, a multi-login or it's a some IDs are getting hacked and then getting used. So they are helping in finding out whether the IDs are being tracked. Now you get a message that some other is using, even if you use a cyber computer and you have a mobile, on the spot you will have a message that somebody has logged in into your profile from a different IP. So these are the kind of services which are being provided. We have got compliance wherein they are using a kind of a pop-up, because we don't. There are so many circulars which RBI has. Every time it is not possible to go through the circular. So if there is a problem and if the process is not being followed, there are small pop-ups which starts coming in, and these pop-ups are basically the gist about that circular, so that you don't do anything wrong. So regulatory requirements are very important, and these artificial intelligence bots are helping in real time, and they are flagging off if there is any issue in it. Then revenue, as I have told you, that the cost saving has increased. Now they are going to be a digital way wherein chatbots. I have already told you the usage of chatbots, which is nothing but an example of an artificial intelligence only, has resulted in companies saving 88,000 crore globally. So they are basically increasing the revenue and reducing the cost. So that's the advantage. Then we have got customer experience, faster decision making. They check the customer behavior pattern, that what is that customer, what is he looking for, what is he browsing at, whether he is browsing for a loan or whether he is browsing for a merger or whether he is browsing for some activity like letter of credit or bank guarantee or say forex card, or he is looking for some activity in the form of a share trading or algorithm trading or whatever. So there are things which are there. Then they are kind of a customizing also. Like robo advisors have come up with a feature wherein it's going to be a unique to you. So the products are going to be customized as per your risk appetite, as per your wants, needs. So depending upon what you want from your product, whether you want a 5-year kind of an FD or 5-year kind of a debt product or an equity product or a stock options or whatever, direct equity. So depending upon your this thing area, like we have already done, it is already a fraud detection is already a $5 billion market. Just imagine the fraud detection is already a $5 billion market. So then we have got biometric authentication and tokenization. Now entire credit card systems which are there across the globe is getting tokenized. That means the data will not be kept at the like if we go for a Domino's. So credit card details were used by, say, Swiggy, Zomato, or Domino's app, and it was kept at the, now these data are going to be kept at the different server, and only tokens, that means there is going to be a coded number which will be traveling or which will be kept. So if somebody gets that coded number, they cannot decode it. So your data, your credit card number or any personal email details will not be stolen, or even if it is stolen, that's not going to be of any use. So transactions are changing, tokenizations are happening. So these are something which are very, very important, and it takes care of cyber security also, that your data is not misused. Automation, we have already known how things are changing now. Just by, if you just feed the data to, say, Alexa, that at 8 I need a or at 8 p.m. If you're it will start watching it automatically and the work will be done. So hello. Guys, am I audible or is there any problem? Okay. Is it okay now? See, I have full network. Matlab, I don't know. Anyways, is it okay now? Can I have yes? Anyone else? Okay, thanks, thanks. Thank you. Uh, Padma Kamle, thank you. So, like blockchain, the future of banking is going to be blockchain, because blockchains are going to reduce further cost, and artificial intelligence is going to support the blockchain technology. And it's going to be an example where in the future, like already, if we talk about India, India is already thinking about using blockchain in banking. If we talk about digital currency, so that is something which is changing. The future of banking is changing basically. If you talk from the retail banking, say 5 years down the line, the checkbooks are going to be obsolete, the passbooks are going to be obsolete. Before the demonetization, Indian population was hardly 1% digital, 99% cash based. Today it has grown from 1% to 30%. Still 70% is cash based. But in next 5 years, it's going to be below 50%. And by say 2030, it's going to be around 20% or 30% cash, 70% digital. See, the transparency, the corruption, and the loopholes are going to be eradicated the moment the digital economy comes into the action, because nobody will ask for a bribe that you transfer the money of 1 lakh to my bank account. So that's not going to be a bribe then, because everything is going to be linked, and especially with the Aadhaar getting linked with the PAN card. And now there are talks that the passport will also get linked with your Aadhaar. Your registration of your plot or your house are going to be linked with your Aadhaar. So they will come to know what all, whether you are filing the income tax per se, considering the tax, considering the properties which you own or not. So a lot of things are going to be in next 5 years further going to get streamlined, if I have to say so. Real-time alert and notification we already have through SMS. Whenever we do a transaction of banking, we have details. So these are the things which are helping artificial intelligence, like big data mining, IoT, Internet of Things, machine learning are basically evolving. Other, as I was already telling you, that annually it is saving close to $11 billion of the revenues are increasing because the cost is reducing. So chatbot are one of the major reasons by which the chatbot, and the banks are going to be richer. There is a prediction that McKinsey is saying that usage of artificial intelligence is going to ensure that the economy of banking economy across the world becomes $1 trillion. $1 trillion is going to be the global banking additional value which is going to be provided by artificial intelligence. So this is something which is getting now in the decision making, whether whether we have to lend or not, or whether we have to onboard the customer, and considering the kind of onboarding which our customers have for investment banking or for wealth management or for stock broking. Now they are seeing the pattern, whether you are risk averse or whether you are risk taking or whether you are what kind of person. So depending upon the area by which you are going to be comfortable, they are going to be giving you updates. Like we have robo advisors which are being used. Like if we talk about investment banks, AI ka six critical ways kya hai? Number one is algorithmic trade execution. So now we are seeing a lot of zero DAs and so many companies which are into up stocks and all. They are into stock market and they have their algorithms who, considering the kind of usage which they guide you, that these are the similar kind of portfolio where you can invest, considering the search recommendation, operational break and failure prediction. That means they check whether what kind of systems which we are using, trade and communication surveillance, regulatory due diligence, which we have already learned. Then there are going to be an optimism in the price, that which one is going to be better for you, and they are going to be streamlining like robo advisors. Like again, this is going to be a $1.2 trillion industry by next 2 years, wherein it's a self-guided. That means it's a computer which talks about the back office, the front office, the processing, everything is going to be done. And there's not going to be any human interference, or there's not going to be any human biasness which is going to be there. So this is something which is going to be changing. There are so many companies which are there across the globe. If you talk about robo advisors per se, and they are doing exceedingly well. Like I have already told you, it's going to be a $1.2 trillion economy. It is hovering at around around 1 trillion, and it's going to be in next 1 year or 2 years, it's going to increase to 1.2 to 1.5 trillion, and that's a prediction. And it's going to go leaps and bounds. It's going to be a 2 trillion or 2.5 trillion by 2025. So robo advisors are going to go in a different. That means they're going to be trading. They're going to be doing so many activities like rebalancing, household management, investment performance, right? It's going to be a different ball game, and there are so many companies which are come into this, and they are doing relatively very good. It's a huge market. So we have already used a use case wherein we are seeing robo advisors being used, cognitive computing where we are seeing algorithm trading, we are seeing customer recommendation, we are seeing chatbots, we are seeing AML, anti-money laundering and fraud detection, which is happening, customer recommendation. So these are the kind of advantages which are being provided by artificial intelligence in investment banking or normal banking. So the world, these things were quite time consuming, and a lot of people were employed. Yes, you can say so. A lot of people are getting jobless because of art, because of the automations of work. But that's how we have to rescale and we have to be working. Like if I have to say in India, there are going to be 2 lakh jobs which may be obsolete in next 3 years time, but there are going to be 5 lakhs more jobs which are going to be skill based, right? From fintech companies to insurtech companies to investment banking to retail banking to corporate banking to wholesale banking. Only thing is you need to be reskilling. Like if I have to say from investment banking, India's number one is by far in last 5 years continuously is Imarticus. Whether it is risk management, fraud management, investment banking, corporate banking, Imarticus is number one institution for reskilling yourself. So if you are already planning to enroll, it is one of the best. There are other institutes also, but uh, Imarticus is number one, if I have to say so. As I was telling you, robo-advisor, chatbots, fraud protection, fintechs में आ गए. अब now we have got a modified insurance recommendation. मतलब risk assessment in lending, enhanced investment analysis, wherein they are checking what kind of appetite you are having. We have got मतलब streamline operations, improve product offering, enhance customer experience. So as I was telling you, there are different layers which are there. So depending upon the layers, like in if I have to say machine learning, they are supervised learning or whatever. If I have to say deep learning, then they have got decision tree methods. They have got regression methods. They have got APIs. They have got platform technologically. We have learned this neural network, intelligent network, fuzzy logic. These things are being used in almost all the banks today, whether retail bank, corporate bank, and these things have been used in last 5 years. Because specifically, if I have to say about India, after demonetization, when banks started having their closed architecture into an open architecture, and the moment they started having open architecture, a lot of things came into the action. So capabilities क्या risk assessment, financial landscape, value addition, consistency, decision making, all these things are part of artificial मतलब are part of investment banking. IB means investment banking, and artificial intelligence is capable enough to support in all the decision making, value addition, and the best part is they are consistent. That means they, since these are machines or algorithms, they work 24/7. Whereas humans can get tired or they can have their biasness that this is better or that is better. But since these are machines and the data is uploaded, so they will be non-biased and they'll be working as it is. Components में क्या profitability? Yes, they are contributing to profitability, especially after 2008, the financial crisis when they happened. Things change, regulations which we have already told you, change of regulatory, client centricity. Yes, the clients are changing to specifically this corona time, 2 years, people have changed to a online way of working, online banking, online e-commerce networks like Flipkart, Amazon, or online shopping and all. Everything is happening from a click of a button. Data, these data are very important because they talk about what is your personality. Matlab, whether you are shopaholic, whether you are not, or you buy a lot of gadgets, or you buy a grocery, or you go to a movie hall, or you go to a gym, or you, matlab, these things are very important, and these data, they talk about so many things. Technology, we have already seen that they are fintechs and regtechs and cloud services, SaaS service as per your requirement. So, but they are still bottlenecks, which the across the world, it's like low level of maturity. That means people are still not very ready or infrastructure because these data are very expensive. This entire technological enablement is expensive. People who know, they are very expensive resource. So it's a high cost. Industry people are still reluctant. It may lead to attrition of manpower. Yes, risk to human employment is there. Reduced transparency. Why? Because they think that the data can be stolen. Although now the data which are being used, they are like cyber securities and all things are being taken into consideration. Increased technical, again, it's a complex algorithm. So you need a technical analyst or technical expert, and these people are very few. Malab, if we talk about, there are hardly 2 lakh people who are skilled in algorithm trading, and world has close to 700 crore people. So you can imagine now things are changing. Now people are entering into a coding base or Python programming, R programming, and there are so many things which have come up. So things are changing. As the famous quote of Bill Gates says, banking is necessary, banks are not. So that's what the future of banks are different. You need to be skill based, you need to to be updated with whatever technologies, whether it's blockchain, machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science, data mining, predictive analytics, or business analytics. So banking is going to be more about technical analysis. Why? Because you need to be updated. Yes, you need to know the basics about retail banking, investment banking, or whatever. But as we go further, it's going to be more about the technical know-how. As things are going to be different, 10 years down the line, you may not find any banks there. If you talk about retail, everybody may be working through uh, online, like GPays or whatever, phone pays and Paytms are there. So this is just for laugh. So with this, I end. Now the Q&A sessions can start. So you can write your Q&A answers if you have any. Or house is open. Anita, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, Anita, I'm through. You can open the question and answer.
Okay.
Guys, any questions? Anything you have in your mind which you want to discuss about the institute or about this topic or about the future of investment banking or about the future of artificial intelligence? Anybody wants any queries, questions, or anything? See, you guys are talking about uh, see, basically these courses are 4 months long, can go up to 6 months also, depending upon whether you are taking a 2 days weekend, 1 day weekend, whether you are taking a Monday to Friday class. If it is a Monday to Friday, then it is a 3 months regular course wherein you have 4 hours of classes every day. Yes, job support is there. You still have such interviews and all are going on. In fact, we prepare people for interviews after entire course is done, wherein all the basics about investment banking, about artificial, there's so many things which are being taught. The future of banking. You need to be below the age of 26. That is the age criteria. You need to be graduate. So that is something, a graduation and a age of below 26 or even 27 is okay. See, these courses are very important. You have retail banking, which is there in Imarticus. You have investment banking. You have credit management. You have fraud management. See, you can go to the website and you can check the costing part there, depending upon what you want in your life. What is your liking? Whether you want to be a fraud analyst and you want to join, say, Genpact, then you can go for a FRM kind of a course for fraud risk management, which is there in the Imarticus. Or if you want to be a specialized, generalized investment banker, you can go for that investment banking course. You want to be into credit and risk management, you can go into that kind of course. So the websites is there. You can have, they have their personalized counselors, and you can very well go for your personalized sessions with those counselors. But let me tell you, once you join, it's going to be good because I had been associated with Imarticus from last 1 year. The placements are close to, I'll say, I'll not say 100%, but placements are 90+%, which is a good percentage because you are being taught everything in detail so that you are able to answer in detail once there's an interview or whatever group discussion or written test and all. Any more queries, questions? Yes, after the completion of course, you will be given a certificate. After the completion of course, you will be given a certificate.
I guess there is no more question left.
The whatever queries are there that you can handle the
Yeah.
from the topic, I believe it's fine. Whatever I have told, I believe they have understood. That's what I can presume.
Yes, right. So there is one more question from Venkatesh Bora. That's are we taught from the basic or some prerequisite are necessary for this course?
Matlab, the right from I of investment banking, everything will be taught. Only thing is requirement is graduate. You need to be graduate.
And one more question from Purushottam Kumar that AI is software. Do we need to host it? And how can hardware related to AI?
See, AI is a software. Yes. See, in this course of banking, we are not going to be teaching you the coding part or technicality part. We will be teaching you in this course the usage part, the application part, the use cases or the case studies are going to be there. So this is something which is going to be different way, wherein you will be taught what is artificial intelligence, what are its usage, what are the different components of artificial intelligence, how it's going to be practically used in banking industry. So this course will be talking about the practicality. We will not be talking about the coding part wherein an R programming or Python programmings and all these things will not be taught in this course.
Last question from Kishore that if AI takes possession in the coming future, don't you think the employment would drastically drop down and upon that skills were demanded at large from the people, which all may not have? In short, how would you look at the employment POV?
See, the employment, it's going to be survival of the fittest, a Charles Darwin theory. Nowadays, if you are a graduate or you are an engineer with an MBA, it's not going to be a sufficient thing. You need to have, like I have half a dozen certifications right from University of Michigan to University of Wharton to University of uh, there's another university. Along with that, I have Indian certificates from IMT Ghaziabad, from IIM Lucknow. So these things are required. Despite I did my 20 years back engineering and MBA courses or such institutes are very good in giving you those skills so that you are job ready. The point is you need to know about that job and you are ready for that job. Yes, a graduation or a post graduation is very important and useful. But along with that, there are so many people from IIM who did 20 years back, 2 years of MBA, are also doing such courses so that they know what is the latest, so that these things are very much required, so that we are best. As I've already told you, there are going to be 2 lakh jobs which will be obsolete, but there are going to be 5 lakhs more jobs which would be required, but those are going to be skill based. So this 2 lakh people can very well enter into those skill based learning and then take away those jobs. And that is the reason the people, institutes like Imarticus, they are doing well and students are gaining a lot out of it.
So true. There is last question from Venkatesh Bora that graduate in BCom data.
Vaira is giving a positive reward that is very useful.
Can you hear
Sorry?
me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can
So
hear you.
there is last question from Venkatesh Bora that graduate in BCom, BTech, CS or pre-tech tech knowledge is required, or do we need basics of accounting or finance or other basic of banking for this course?
See, you can do anything, yeah. See, you need to be graduate. You need to have that mindset that you want to be a banker. So if you are a BTech or you are an MBA pass out or you are a graduate, only thing requirement is understanding about basic understanding about accountings and understanding that you want to be a banker. That passion needs to be there. If you are passionate, you will learn anything.
Okay, so I guess everyone is done. Last, I hope this is the last one. That Sohail is asking, along with the investment banking, is it good to do business analytic course?
Sorry,
Can you hear me,
Anita,
Shamli?
I could not hear you. Yeah,
Can you
I
hear
can
me
hear you
now?
now. Please
Yeah.
repeat.
So
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sohail is asking that along with investment banking, is it good that we do business analytics course?
See, it's up to you. More you want to study, more it is good for you. But one thing needs to be clear. What exactly you're looking for from your career or from your future. Don't do things which are not going to be used by you. If you are planning to be an investment banker, invest your heart and soul in this course and then take up a course of business analytics. Because let me tell you, it is a draining course. That means you need to know a lot of things. You need to do a lot of self studies. So you will not have so much of time to simultaneously do a second course. So I would advise you take 3 months of regular classroom close, finish that, then you can take another 3 months of investment banking, sorry, business analytics regular classroom close. In 6 months, you will have both. And then you can use both the knowledge in your future.
Yeah. So fine. I guess the time is also up now. So guys, if you have any more questions in regards to the courses or in regards to what will be better for you, either it's a job guaranteed program or you're looking for some certification courses that can upskill your overall career, that your resume, you can directly visit to Imarticus Learning website. Or if you want, do mail to us to info@imarticus.com or anita.imarticus.com, where we will be able to help you with your proper questions. And apart from that, if you need anything else, if you have a major question regards to the course suggestion or anything, you can go to our website, do some chatting with our support team. We have the live counselor over there. You can visit to the website and you can do one-on-one counseling with them. And apart from that, we have the career counseling fair is going live with the Imarticus Learning, where if you are in Mumbai or if you are any of the nearest location to the Imarticus Learning, you can visit there. You can have a one-on-one counseling over there. And guess what? We are also providing a scholarship to the person who's visiting to our website or who's enrolling to our program before 13th of November. So this is the good opportunity for you guys to enroll for the course, get some scholarship worth amount up to 10 crores. And yeah, there is something more is coming up, but for that you need to visit to the center. You have to talk to our counselor. You have to enroll for our programs. So thank you so much, Mr. Shamid. It was really nice to have again a wonderful session with you. We would like to go ahead with such kind of session every month or twice a month. And if you have, if the people are really interested, they're enjoying it, then we can again have a session by end of this month. And it will be a like more of Q&A sessions where you guys can ask n number of questions and we will able to solve as soon as possible. So again, thank you so much for joining today's webinar. I, Anita God, would like to sign off for the session. And again, if you have any questions, you can directly visit to our website. You can coordinate with our live counselor or you can visit to the center. Thank you.
Thank you. All the best.
Thanks. Bye.